Welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are looking sexy, and so is one of our players.
Oh.
Sporting in as our purple GLA vanilla on the bottom right-hand corner of Melting Snow.
That is right, and today his opponent will be none other than Logica as the vanilla China. So I do always enjoy vanilla matchups, just because I feel like the vanilla factions have a bit more variation and diversity. They have a bit of a wider range of playstyles, which in Zero Hour, generally the factions can be a bit one-dimensional, but in vanilla, you typically have a fair few options at your disposal. Logica going for a very fast forward supply.
I'm a big fan of that, Mr. Machine. Faster trucks coming out, going for worker crushes. Nothing I like more than a Chinese forward supply on a map like Melting Snow.
Yeah, like right now, he could actually crush the worker here. Terrorist out of position. Looks like he was trying to prevent that from happening, but not quite in position. However, it looks like he actually manages to micro it around. So great work here coming out of Sexiee. That will keep the truck going towards. Maybe he'll get this supply, actually. The tunnel, I mean. The worker building the tunnel.
Yeah, it looks like it's
gonna
just going to finish in time. I think it's going to finish.
Make it the RPGs at least.
Yeah.
Gets a worker, and the workers go inside the tunnel. Nice work. Won't lose anything else. Still... Oh, no! Loses the RPGs! What a big mistake there from Sexiee. Would have been a good trade. Truck for a worker. But with the two RPGs, I think that goes in the favor of Logica.
Certainly.
Oh, no.
Fireworks coming out. Oh!
Ouch.
I mean, it was... At least the dragon tank isn't going down in that situation. I'd say that's the main thing, Machine.
Sexiee isn't done.
The truck is sacrificed for the cause. Sexie's definitely not done, but Logica on point with his micro.
Oh, nice
right,
timing.
The trucks around and the mine pop as well. This is a fantastic start to the game. Yeah, there we go. Firewall on point. Going to be able to die to the tunnel network at the sacrifice of the supply truck.
Okay, so we should have a couple RPGs. How many RPGs are there, Blake? There's much less than 4.
Oh, there is certainly a couple less than 4, Machine. I have no idea how that could have possibly happened. Only the 2 in that technical there. And at the moment, Logic currently mining off 3 supplies, which is bold, but I think he's made himself safe enough by going for the mines on all of them. RPG harassment is one thing. And having the dragon tank in the middle for the garrison clear is fantastic. So yeah, RPG harassment is one thing. The main danger for going for 3 supplies is the potential for tech terror.
Yeah, I really like how Logica went for the aggressive truck pushes, because it puts the GLA player behind, and that then can solidify the 3-base start. There's no mines over here though. We'll find a dozer as well. Nice work here by Sexiee, but once again showing the weakness of only having 2 RPGs. Still enough to get that dozer down, but I just feel like losing those 2 RPGs was such a big mistake, because then he didn't have enough to prevent this third. Like where originally the one Gatling tank forced them away, but it looks like Sexiee has recovered, snipes down the supply, so that puts him in a pretty good position, because he has this very forward tunnel network here as well, though there is a few Gatling tanks coming up. Can he focus the RPGs down in time? He's going for the quad tank instead, so not exactly ideal there.
No, RPG's walking away with that one quite easily. Gat should be able to take out 3, but if he keeps moving like that, should be fine. Okay,
oh,
right.
It doesn't prevent that tunnel from completing either. So now there's actually 4 quads and 4 RPGs. That's a pretty scary mix here. However, a dragon tank sneaks through. Oh man, that's going to get not only the supply and the workers, but also a few tunnels as well. That's devastating. Sexiee will be retreating his army, is he? Or is he going to be staying here?
I'm not sure. I mean, at least putting pressure on the supply for now, preventing Logica from retaking it. Toxin Tractor actually comes out, so the Dragon Tank has been cleared away. That supply, however, will need to be rebuilt, and it looks like our friend Sexiee has gone for the forward supply. Bold move, but he's in a much more solid position than his natural, because this supply has 2 tunnel networks next to it, in addition to Sexie's army.
This dozer needs to be really careful as well. Only the single dozer left, quite exposed there too. So if a tech RPG swoops by, could be the end of our production. Nice firewall though over the supplies. No chance for a counter attack by the quads.
None indeed. Quad going to be scanning out these middle garrisons. Toxin Tractor moving in. Nice evac coming there from Logica, but... Oh wow, he got it again.
TNT!
Oh!
Nice!
Oh! Beautiful play. I was gonna say, normally you only get about 1 evac before the player catches onto
no.
it.
Oh.
But that is fantastic play from Logica. That was awesome.
Yeah, it would have been very easy to prevent if the toxin tractor either stopped or would just moved backwards, but Sexiee obviously not watching. We'll lose the supply as well, but this second supply has been rebuilt. So this has been a pretty back and forwards game. A lot of Gatling tanks, actually. Maybe we'll see some Scorpions come out.
Would be fantastic if Sexiee does see the unit composition coming out from Logica. I'm not surprised we're seeing this many Gatling tanks from vanilla China. But as you said, Machine, definitely counterable with Scorpions if you can see those rocket upgrades come out. I think one of the problems here is, Sexie's going to be on 1 arms dealer. So not only is he going to have limited Scorpion production, he also has to invest the time into getting the rocket upgrade, which he has now got, in fact. So the Scorpions have started. The Machine always on point. Especially
with how aggressive the Dragon tanks have been. You want to have something a bit more mobile. So now we see the firewall coming down, not quite within range of the tunnel though. The Scorpion is there to snipe down that truck. There's a second line of tunnels though. This is very important, because then even if the first one has a firewall or it's not able to be deployed from, there's still a second supply there, a second tunnel there he can use. Oh man, Dragon tanks are just everywhere.
Yeah, hard to deal with unless you have a nice pop on them. The Scorpions are fantastic. Rocket's obviously doing a lot of burst damage. Scorpions able to survive in the firewall for a considerable amount of time.
Oh, too many
quad
Scorpions.
RPGs aren't great.
Also the fact that Scorpions benefit from scrap really well, the quads not so much. This is a bad engagement for Firestorm. The Scorpions are just far too efficient, but the outpost coming in from the back looks like he's able to muscle his way through here.
Definitely going to be a repop.
Yeah, look at that. Nice.
Yeah.
Couple of Veteran C1 Scorpions as well.
Starting to get the scrap now as well.
Losing a lot of tanks only to take out a tunnel, not really many units. Especially if he gets double scrap too.
Double scrap is indeed the dream. Yeah, 1 scrap is one thing, but having double rockets gives the Scorpions incredible burst potential. Was just about to mention, wow, Dragon tank upon Dragon tank. China will indeed grow larger, or at least burn the opponents to the ground in this case.
Oh, actually, he may have saved it. He has indeed. If he drove a little bit closer, perhaps it'd help him there. But now another engagement. Once again, it's just Scorpions v Gatling tanks. Now we're seeing more RPGs and more outposts mixing, which is what he needs right now. But the second supply still isn't there for either of our players. So it's actually a pretty even economy. But the All Derek was captured by Sexiee, it was. Maybe we'll see Sexiee try and go for the refinery as well. Get that 10% cheaper unit production.
Would be nice to see since he has the capture upgrade. 5 tank hunters inside of a bunker. The dream should give a lot of safety. It will at least prevent Scorpions from attacking on that flank and give allow Logica to have a better position. You were saying?
Sexiee will have none of that. He gets a Scorpion. He just leaves it there. Yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave the Scorpion here. I'm sick of your bloody Dragon tanks. But great play from Logica. Rather than sending in a Dragon tank, he actually sends a outpost instead. Takes out the Scorpion. Now there's actually another Dragon tank there to take the place and take the supply down. But once again, Scorpions pop out. So Sexiee is always one step ahead of Logica.
I mean, it's not always that I'm rally pointing my war factories onto my opponent's tunnel networks, but it seems to be working for Logica in this game.
Yeah. You see the tunnel being placed behind the refinery as well. I believe you can actually garrison that structure too. So pretty good play here. Let's see if Logica can actually focus down the oil derrick. He's probably a bit far off getting his carpet bomb. Doesn't have his CC either. We'll be building the airfield, and now he's building the CC at a good time. So now there's a lot of Scorpions. That's where the helixes come in. Or a helix.
A helix.
You don't have to necessarily build multiple helixes. But since it's the V-China, the infantry and the aircraft, they are cheaper. So you do typically see more air units come out of them.
Very decent unit mix coming out here from Sexiee. With that being said, full mix of both quad and Scorpion. Easily enough to deal with any composition coming out from Logica at this stage of the game, especially with no propaganda center at the moment or on the way. Scout post is down. I'm assuming Sexiee knew where it was because it looked like he was force frying the ground there. Man, these dragon tanks.
Actually, I think the Toxin Tractor may have been attacking the garrison,
They're just
but
getting blocked.
yeah,
maybe,
I don't know
outposts,
if that works like projectiles, but the outpost was taking the damage. Either way, it looks like this oil derrick will be denied, so that's actually a bit of a misplay there from Sexiee. He does let that oil derrick fall. However, having a pretty big counter attack here, a lot of Scorpions, a lot of quads going straight for the supply, so that would be a great trade if he can do it. But now we have a bunker helix. The second one will be a second bunker helix, so no prop helix yet, but there's a lot of quads.
There are indeed a lot of quads. It's going to be hard for the helixes to have some effect, and this is a pretty big investment here, going for both the tank hunters, the helixes, and the upgrades for double bunker, as you were saying before.
Oh, look at that, mine drop and a carpet bomb.
Nice split, though, coming out from Sexiee. He's going to lose one quad. One quad to the carpet bomb. Very much predicted in that situation. Power's going to be sniped down. That means less production coming out from these war factories.
This is a great play here from Sexiee, but now we see the engagement coming in. Mine drop here preventing a few of these units from rallying in. He drives over them, though. This is a Scorpion and, what, one quad? Almost a second one, too. Helixes are still waiting. They can't engage when there's this many quads. Gatling tanks have to lead the charge here. Now there's a Scorpion in position ready to go. And now we see the Helixes swooping in great positioning and formationing of both of our players. They're putting their units in a position where they're not going to get exposed. It's just counterplay by counterplay here. And once again, the Helix is going to be waiting until the quads are kind of out of position, but going straight for the supply, doing so much damage. An arty strike coming through. There we go. Oh, he killed his own supply. Oh,
I see
no.
the quads would maybe move away from the army, but they didn't in that situation, and the supply actually goes down. That was a deadly attack coming in from Sexiee. Took out the barracks, a supply, well, two supplies, and the airfield as well, which denies any healing. And that's important, because it's going to deny any healing for the helixes. There's only 2 helixes out on the field, and there's no proplings. So at the moment, there is no healing for these helixes until we see another airfield go down. One
of them gets low. Also, the fact that there's no propaganda center means you can't just build a propaganda tower to get that healing. So definitely going to be limiting the offensive power of the helixes. Still, a lot of gats are being mixed in here, but there's a decent amount of outposts, but not enough. But the mine's going to be sniping, what, 3 of them down. Lucky break there for Logica.
Counter-attack coming out here from Logica. Has to go for this one with the bunker elixirs. They're going to be useless. Has to get something done with them. In this case, sniping down the tunnel networks, but they get quad popped on.
Oh, they do indeed. You're right. One of them actually falls. That was the weak one. So didn't really achieve too much there. Now there's going to be clearing away, but Logica's taken a fair bit of damage here. He's rebuilt his other supplies. So he's back on 2 supplies. And non-stop aggression from Sexiee. This has been pretty impressive. The tunnel is actually denied, though. Still 1 remains.
Making cash money with the cash bounty as well machine. He's going to be raking in the dollars.
Oh, he does have
Sexiee.
it, yeah.
He does indeed. Still no palace, though, but no prop center as a counter here from Logica. Hasn't gone for one yet. There's the carpet bomb. Wow, off cooldown already. Must have just come off.
So that's what, 2 arms dealers. We have a palace being built. Yeah. It's gonna be pretty nice here. Let's see what it actually takes out. It doesn't get anything, but it gets a few workers down, so that's not too bad.
Definitely have to use carpet bomb in conjunction with artillery strikes in order to actually snipe down those buildings.
Depends on the rotation of them. If it's long ways, you'll get a bit better. Other than that, looks like Logica has been able to calm things down for a moment, but he's still just lacking in stuff, really. Building another factory, so...
Has at least to some degree limited Sexiee's mobility. Only having the 1 tunnel network on the top, and other than that, completely confined to his own base, will certainly affect his mobility.
I do love that second factory, though, rather than an airfield, because another Helix isn't going to really achieve much against this many. There's no Gatling upgrade either, so they won't have that extra damage. Yeah, it's a numbers game, and it's definitely looking in Sexie's favor.
Yeah, no chain guns, no AP ammo, with no high-tier structures coming out from our players. Now the supply goes down here. Probably about the 4th supply we've seen go down for a Logica. Continuously having to rebuild those.
More quads are being thrown out. Helix is actually still here. Has decent health, about 2/3, so it can still do a little bit of work.
Incredibly hard to find the balance between military units to stop the quads and when do I rebuild my supplies? When am I in a safe position to rebuild? When am I in a safe position to go for a propaganda center?
So that's nice, sending the Helix in just kind of at the end, but also the Helix was manually retargeted there by Sexiee. So really impressive game from both of our players. We see a lot of skill across the board. It's going to be another mine drop.
Hopefully onto the tunnel network there would be fantastic.
Yeah, nice. Oh, and there's actually a few quads here too, so he can't actually evacuate them. So he's going to lose all those quads. Though, he may take out some units in the process. Gets one dragon tank. Yeah, 2 of them even. That's not bad.
Solo kiting coming in from the quads.
So, where does Logica go from here?
For starters, he needs to pull a truck from one of those suppliers because he has 4 on one and 1 on the other one.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's just a small suggestion.
Oh, no.
It's hard to say Machine because he doesn't know what position Sexie's in. Doesn't know if Sexiee has a palace, which he does, or if there's any tech switching going on, if there are buggies on the way. Hasn't scouted the composition yet coming out from Sexiee, but I'd say any second now he's going to get a very good idea of what the composition is.
Outpost and Gat spam mixed in can generally deal with quad spam. Gatling tanks are a little bit stronger with the spinning up the outpost for the extra damage too, as long as they get caught out of position, and that does happen pretty easily when you're versing a GLA with the tunnels, but this is a very risky play because there's no tunnels nearby to retreat from, so if this attack goes badly, this could be the end. But actually calling an arty strike and... Oh, an EMP, but he missed the mark entirely! He also shuts down his own bunker. It doesn't actually matter, though, because the fact that RPGs can still fire. An arty strike as well, so very, very desperate from Logica.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no supplies, so it looks like this actually is a pretty all-in attack. Going for the bunker! Why is he doing that? And now we see the quads funneling themselves into the Gats and the outpost. Man, he killed the bunker. Yeah, sure, but he lost, what, 4 quads?
Yeah, 4 or 5 quads,
man.
Machine. It's just,
oh, no.
Oh, this is brutal here. Sexie's getting absolutely demolished. Sexie had no idea the bunker was full of 5 tank hunters. You know the bunker is garrisoned, but you don't assume there's 5 tank hunters inside it. The quads couldn't push through. And in our experience of casting these games, even in high-level plays, generally players only put like 1 or 2 RPGs in their bunkers. Rare. I mean, you always see 5 RPGs inside of a palace, for example, but
well, you'd hope so.
5 tank hunters inside of a bunker, you never see that.
Yeah.
They're always being used for bunker elixirs or whatever other reason. It was a fair assumption to say maybe there's 1 tank hunter in there and the other ones had been requisitioned for the bunker elixirs, for example.
But he didn't back away. He fully committed to it.
Yeah.
Normally you may lose 1 quad and go, oh, this bunker's full, better retreat. But no, he stayed in there, and as a result, he's lost the only significant army that he had left. There isn't really much middle supplies on the left side, but Logica now mining on the right side of that middle. There is a single battle bus, but a helix there as well.
Nice kiting coming in from the helix. Fantastic. Battle bus going to be sniped down. All of those RPGs for Sexiee with a fantastic tech advantage here, but unable to capitalize on it after throwing away all those quads.
That was a great game. I feel like even if Sexiee played that last engagement well, he still was outnumbered.
Yeah.
And there was that vetted helix. So I feel like at the end, Sexiee was very desperate, but he didn't have much chance or choice either. But very well played game from both of our players. I love that engagement in the base of Logica, where there was the constant rotation of units. It was trying to find an angle for the helixes to go in, but at the same time, then Sexiee was trying to send the scorpions in when there were only the Gats ready to engage them.
And keep the quads in a nice concave in case the army came in or the helixes were nearby.
Yeah.
So you definitely micro an awesome target selection even in the base. It's like making sure you snipe down the airfield because you see there's 2 bunker elixirs. So you know there's
with no prop
out.
tower.
With no prop tower. You know there's no heals out. So sniping the airfield in that situation is crucial. And it's rare we see a game kind of past the 10-minute mark where our players are so even and so aggressive that neither of them has gone for, you know, a propaganda center or a palace or a strat center, where they haven't actually gone up to that level because they don't have the option to. If they did, they probably would have lost the game through lack of units.
I think also a lot of that is just because a propaganda center for vanilla China doesn't really do that much. Vanilla overlords are too slow. ECMs are nice, but he was only versing quads. Lotus is great, but there's no oils to cap. There's a lot of quad, so it's hard to cap your enemy's base. So I feel like
It's actually fair. It's a fair
because
point.
often it happens. Like
Yeah.
it's actually rare that you do see vanilla Chinas go for the at least the quick propaganda center. I mean, it depends though, because if there was buggies or battle bus, he would have then eventually gone. But even then, like you just go MiGs.
Yeah.
And MiGs are cheap, Helixes are cheap. So generally airfield as a heavy investment is what you normally see from V China players. But whereas if you see nuke Chinas love rushing out nuke overlords because nuke overlords are so strong.
They're amazing. So.
So I think, yeah, that was just a very great game, and I'm happy to see a high-level game like that across the board. So thanks to Logica for sending that in. It was a great game. I always make sure that I don't tell Blake who sent the replay in because it generally spoils who wins.
Who wins, yeah. I never know. I'm always in the dark, which is good.
Yeah.
I generally get more excited that way.
Also, and if you are going to send in a replay, you don't have to win to send in a replay. You can lose
And also
and send in a
remember,
replay.
don't just spoil it because we tend not to cast
Oh
games
yeah, that is
spoil,
actually
so,
the worst
yeah.
thing ever. So many people are like, hey guys, can you cast my replay? It's a really good game. I play as this faction against this faction. It's a really close game, but then I attack his base. I have 20 VPs left, but then I win. It's like
We didn't want to know that.
You've just told me like exactly what happens.
It does ruin the hype a little bit.
I'm not gonna cast your game now
Yeah.
because you've told and someone like one time this guy was like, yeah, there's this huge base rape which fails. It's like, well, okay, so like now we know that when there's a big base exchange, we don't have to like get hyped. So I think this is actually a rant for a separate video. But yeah, if you're sending us a replay, don't tell us what happens. Just say, hey, good game. Like you can tell us like exciting things like, oh, there's a big battle with lots of these units. Okay, cool. But like, yeah. Anyway,
No spoilers, please.
no spoilers. Yeah, how would you feel?
No
Like
spoilers.
Game of Thrones
we don't
spoilers.
throw in Game of Thrones spoilers at the end of our cast, so don't put in spoilers when you send in your replays. I guess that's a fair deal.
Yeah.
Seems like a fair deal.
All right, see you guys. Thanks for watching. And if you do, of course, want to support us, as always, you can do so via Patreon. We are posting a video every day now, since it is my means of full-time employment, which is pretty cool. And so we'd hope to be able to keep it up this way and, keep providing a video every single day of awesome GLA versus China matchups.
For sure. I'm down for that.
All right. See ya.
Cheers.